Hey folks, Eric Perry, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Tuesday, February 26th. Been on the water 3 or 4 times this week. Just finished fishing. It's, I don't know, my watch quit, so I'm gonna guess it's about 4 o'clock on Tuesday. So I'm shooting this today. It won't be on the internet until tomorrow, so sorry it's a day late. But we fished up the Kings River today, did really well. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I've been fishing, fished the White River, fished down by the dam, fished Kings River today. Bite is changing, bite's getting better, but of course that means Mother Nature is going to bring another polar vortex to shut everything down again, which is just awesome. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 915.56, which puts us a little bit more than half a foot high. Beaver still 2 feet high, 2.5 feet high. Bull Shoals still 8 feet high. They have slowed the current down, shut it down to about 1.5 units or 2 units yesterday, and they really haven't picked it up much today. So we're going to say about 1.5 units. Going to continue to run water though. This is still high. They've got to bring Beaver down. They've got to bring Bull Shoals down, but there's just nowhere to put the water right now. So if you live over on Bull Shoals, be watching for that to get up to about 10 or 12 feet high. Water temperature all over the map today. We launched this morning here at Shell Knob and it was 44.1. We saw as warm as 55.3 up the Kings. Kings has got a lot of stain. It's been a sunny, warm day. So yeah, that water warmed up in a hurry. But you know, we're still at 44 on the main lake. Down at Baxter on Sunday, it was about 42, 43. Down on the lower end last week, late end of the week, is about 42, 43, 44. So you get in the clear water, there's not a lot of variance. You're mid 40s. You get in the dirtier water, especially on a sunny, warm day like we had today, you're going to see 50, even 55 degrees. I mean, it warms up in a hurry if the sun's hitting that dirty water. So doing better in the dirty water too. But guys, if you're coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, lower end's fishing pretty tough right now. You've got some stained water once you get around Big Cedar and go further up Long Creek. So if you're going to fish the lower end, I would definitely concentrate where you've got a little bit of stain, where that water is going to warm up a little bit faster. But as far as our bites down there, we are catching them on a stick bait down there. The Megabass Vision 110, Spro Mix Stick, 110 plus 1 and plus 2 are working. Most of these fish on the stick bait are on channel swing banks, and really all over the lake, most of the fish are on channel swing banks no matter what you're throwing. But you definitely want to fish channel swing banks both back in the creeks and on the main lake. I can tell you the last 2 or 3 times I've been out, the bite in the creeks has been better than the bite in the main lake. So I would concentrate back in the creeks or up Long Creek, where you're going to find some stained water and find some warmer water. But definitely have a stick bait tied on. If you're going to go up in the creeks, if you get a little bit of wind, we didn't have any wind at all today, so it was kind of tough for us to throw a crankbait. But if you're going to go up in the creeks, I definitely have either a rock crawler, wiggle wart, or curve 55 tied on. And again, hit those rocky banks, hit those channel swing banks. That really seems to be where the fish are. Our best bite today was on a Jewel Pro spider jig, 7/16 Okeechobee Blue with a beaver on it. Didn't have any wind. Threw it with a speed crawl on it earlier, but didn't get the bites. Once we switched over to a beaver, really started catching them on it. Most of the fish were out off of the bank early, you know, before the water really warmed up. Those fish were out and probably 10, maybe 12 foot deep, but once it warmed up, we caught some better fish up shallow with less than 3 foot of water. So keep that in mind. I know this weekend's not going to be the type of day that you're going to be out pitching a jig shallow, but as it warms up over the next couple of weeks, keep that in mind. Later in the day, you might be catching them out deep early. Later in the day, move up shallow, throw it around wood. All of our better fish today came around wood, you know, lay downs, brush piles, bushes in the water. Throw around wood, you'll get bit. And go up in Kimberling City, same sort of bites are working in Kimberling. Definitely want to have a jerkbait tied on. Spro Mix Stick, Megabass Vision 110, the 110 plus 1, 110 plus 2, all those are working. Seems like I get better on sunny days with the regular 110 or the plus 1. If it's cloudy, it seems like I get better on the plus 2, just because it dives a little bit deeper. The shad aren't coming up as much, so seem to get better on the deeper diver when it's cloudy. Crankbait bite's been pretty strong in Kimberling as well. Spro Rock Crawler, Wiggle Wart, curve 55, all those are working. Again, you're looking at channel swing banks, both in the creeks and on the main lake, but you gotta have wind. If you don't have wind, especially in that clear water, those fish aren't gonna move shallow. You're not gonna do as well throwing a crankbait as you would even in the dirty water when you don't have a lot of wind. You do a lot better if you've got a little bit of wind. Best bite though has by far been a jig, Jewel Pro Spider jig, 7/16 or even the 5/16. Most of the fish, again, are coming on channel swing banks, and where that channel makes the initial contact to the bank seems to be best. When when it gets a little bit deeper, not so much, but right where it's a little bit shallower, the channel's first right there, or when it first leaves the bank, that's been the better area to throw it. 7/16 in Okeechobee Blue, Bass Whacker, Table Rock Secret, whatever color you like to throw, either with a speed craw or with a beaver on it. Both those trailers have been working pretty good. Go up into the James, definitely want to have a crankbait tie down up the James and fish both main lake and back in the creeks. Fish those channel swing banks, guys. I'm gonna say that a lot throughout this video. The channel swing banks have really been where the fish are. They're wanting to move up. They're wanting to get shallow. They're hanging in the channel, and you hit those areas where the channel first makes contact or first leaves the bank or makes contact with the bank where it's a little bit shallower. That's really where these fish seem to be grouped up at. If you've got any wood in those areas, it makes a difference, whether it's a lay down or a brush pile or even a bush that's in the water. But fish the channel swing banks, less than 10 feet deep on the crankbait. Same deal on the jig. You might have to work out a little bit further if you don't have any wind. Hit those channel swing banks, 7/16 Jewel Pro Spider jig, or the 5/16, typical colors, Okeechobee Blue, Green Pumpkin Candy, Bass Whacker, Table Rock Secret, match with a J-tail, match with a speed craw, match with the beaver. All those are working. And I'm telling you, the backs of the creeks are starting to turn on, but with this cold front coming in, I really think that those fish are going to move out a little bit more into the main lake, and especially up the James, when you get up around point 12 or above, I really think the main lake bite is going to be stronger up there than the creek bite. Come up in the White River where we are today. We fished a little bit in the White, but spent most of our time up the Kings. The Kings has got outstanding color right now. It ranges anywhere from just a nice dark green stain to kind of a brownish green stain. And it's much warmer water when you get a sunny day like today, and we caught them really well on a jig today. 7/16 Jewel Pro Spider jig. Threw a few different colors, but Okeechobee Blue was the best color, matched up with a Magic Swirl, beaver on it, smallie beaver on it, put a little chartreuse, a little orange on the pinchers on that thing, and really fished those channel swings. And it seemed like, as I said earlier, the later in the day we got, the shallower the fish got. Early in the day they were out, probably 12, 15 foot deep. As the sun came up, as it warmed that water up, those fish really want to move shallow, and any wood that was in the water would seem like we could pitch to and catch some fish on that. Did catch one decent one on a crankbait, but like I said, we didn't have a lot of wind today, so the crankbait bite was kind of slow. But again, fishing a channel swing, fishing the last channel swing in the creek, basically paralleling the bank. Caught him on a rock crawler today. Probably could have caught him on a wiggle wart or a curve 55. But paralleling those banks, 8 to 12 foot of water really is the key depth. And slow down, slow down. Don't just burn that sucker in there. As you throw it, get it down to the bottom, pause it, bang it into rocks. The one good one we caught, banged it into a rock, and he just loaded up on it. It was a decent fish, probably 2.5 pound, solid keeper. We did catch him on a crankbait. Stick bait bite was pretty slow. I don't think we had a single fish on a stick bait today. Threw it early, we got in that dirtier water, started throwing a jig, started catching them on a jig, and if I'm catching them on a jig, I'm probably not going to throw anything else. Guys, it is the end of February, thank God. We have our second polar vortex of the year coming in this weekend. Yay! All tournaments are canceled for this weekend, which is probably the smartest move any tournament director has made in a long time. So we got one more week of cold weather, and then hopefully the groundhog was right, and we're done with winter. It should have been done 4 weeks ago. If he's not right, we're going to go shoot the little bugger. But things are warming up. The bite's definitely changing. The most encouraging thing I think we saw today was that when we got to that warmer water, these fish really wanted to move shallow. And I really think once this water starts warming up, we start seeing this warmer water all throughout the lake, get up in the upper 40s into the 50s, it's really going to turn on hard, and these fish are really going to start biting really good. But guys, if you're thinking about coming down, maybe you want to learn how to throw a crankbait, maybe you want to learn how to throw a jig, maybe you want to learn how to throw a stick bait, whatever, all those bites are coming up. So if you're thinking about coming down, you want to hire a guide, March already starting to book up, April starting to book up. So if you want to hire a guide, you want to get on the water with me, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. Either shoot me an email, book online, whatever's more convenient for you. We'll pick out dates, times, get out on the water, catch some fish, and have a good time. But guys, thanks for watching the videos. Take a minute to subscribe. I really appreciate that. But thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.